You clicked on this video, you read the title, you know what we're here to talk about. Let me just make everything clear from the get-go. This is not clickbait. Hey, what's up you guys? It's Carson and welcome back to my YouTube channel, and in today's video I'm going to be telling you a chaotic story time about the time I was 3 years old, ran away from home, and was brought back home by the police. You can't make this shit up. Like, you really can't. I have personally been waiting to tell this story, and now feels like the right time. So, with all that being said, if you don't know who I am, hi, I'm Carson, my pronouns are she, her, and I am a writer who focuses on poetry and songwriting, and I also make YouTube content surrounding mental health. If any of that is interesting to you, go give this video a thumbs up, comment below, subscribe, hit that post notification bell to be notified whenever I upload. Alright, so to contextualize this for you watching at home, I grew up in Toronto, Canada. And in Toronto, we have the subway system called the TTC. And in particular, there is a line on the TTC called the Bloor-Danforth line. I went on that line for the very first time the day that all of this went down. I was so excited, I was giddy, I was this really hyperactive 3-year-old. I particularly remember going over the Bloor Viaduct. If you don't know what the Bloor Viaduct is, it basically connects the east side of the city to the west side of the city, the Bloor to the Danforth. And basically, when you go over the bridge, you get to see the whole Don Valley, which includes this little river and these pathways for people to bike along, and you can also see like some highway road. It's very mystical for a toddler, you know what I mean? So I was enamored, like totally enamored. If you've noticed a theme with my story times, I become enamored with things very quickly. So I just got off this train and I was super hyped and I was so excited to like just, I don't know, travel. I don't know what my brain was thinking at the time. I also got this brand new pop-up book that I loved so much and I carried it with me throughout the entire day. So anyway, I'm hanging out in this little area near my house with my family. At this point, there was just recently a new addition into the family, so my mom was pretty busy, you know what I mean? And I was always one of those kids who didn't have a lot of friends growing up, so I just made my own fun and did my own thing and kind of hermited from the rest of the world. And in this case and scenario, I went a little too far with that. There's this bus that comes by and it had the same like TTC logo that I recognized from the train, and I was like, wait, they have buses too? Now I need to make a note. Everyone I know who knows this story and was there for this story claimed that the bus driver said, "All aboard, kid." I don't think the bus driver would have done that. Why would a bus driver do that? I really hope the bus driver didn't do that, but for total transparency's sake, I'm gonna bring it up and say, yeah, there's a possibility I could have been ushered onto this bus by the bus driver. I don't know if that actually happened, but people said it did, so take that for what it is. But anyway, so I climb onto the bus, I'm carrying this massive pop-up book, and I hop on the bus, didn't have to pay, love that. And I decided to sit near the back of the bus, and I just kind of sat there, kicking my feet, and holding this book and kind of reading it to myself. And I'm like, oh, this is so cool. And I'm like also looking out the windows and just, you know that like adrenaline rush feeling you get when you're like going really, really fast on a bike or something like that? It felt like that times 100 for me. I remember being so excited and like so proud that I was so grown up and mature enough to go on this bus by myself. Newsflash, I was not old enough to go on that bus by myself. Anyway, I digress. So I'm sitting on the bus, I have my pop-up book, and I sit next to this old lady. Or actually, I think she sat next to me because she had gotten on the bus. I don't exactly remember that detail, but I remember sitting next to this old lady, and we struck up a conversation. And she was really, really sweet, and I read to her my book. And she was really helpful when I couldn't pronounce words properly, and just after I'm done reading this book, I kid you not, I close my book, I look at the bus stop thing, and I press the stop request, and I go, this is my stop now, I'm going to go. And I like walk away from this lady, and she's like, okay, bye. I'm like, What? Why was I so confident that that was where I had to get off? I don't know. I don't know. So I get off the bus and I just see this suburban area around me and there's this bench where the bus stop is. So I'm like, all right, I'll just sit on the bench and like figure out what's next. I'm sitting on the bench and I'm thinking, right? I'm thinking, oh my God, where the heck am I? And I'm sitting there and I'm like lost in it. And then this guy comes up, he tries like talking to me and I got this really off vibe from him like immediately. So I just, before I explain this, please remember I was a toddler. I was a toddler, okay? I had no understanding of what I was doing or why I was doing it. Just please understand that. So I start like screaming. It somehow worked though, like he left me alone. Anyway, I digress again. I don't know what it was, but I was just sitting there on the bench getting really sad, realizing that, oh, I'm lost. I don't know where I am. I don't know what I'm doing. And as I'm thinking this whole fog kind of falls on this little area that I'm in. And I'm like, it's so foggy and I'm cold and all I have is this book and I'm hungry and I really want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and I want my mom and I'm sad. Then this police car just stops dead in front of me. And I'm like, okay, this is interesting. So he rolls down his window and he's like, hi honey, are you Carson? And I kid you not, Do you wanna know what my smart ass 3-year-old self said? Do you wanna know what she said? This is what she said. She said, sorry, I don't talk to strangers. I don't know. I don't know. My childhood brain is one of many mysteries that I'm still trying to figure out for myself. This police officer kind of like laughs and it's like, all right, that's good that you know not to talk to strangers. But is your mom's name blank? Now, I'm not including my mom's name because my family wants to be private, so we're not gonna go there. But my mom's name is very unique and I've not met a single other person with my mother's name. So as soon as the police officer said my mother's name, I knew they weren't fucking around. And I was like, all right, fair game, we're good. All right, we're cool. Yeah, you know my mom, clearly. What's up? And they said, okay, so your parents called us. They're looking for you and we're gonna bring you home. So hop in the back of the car. So my little 3-year-old self with my pop-up book just opens the back of a police car and hops on it. And I remember, I'm sitting here telling the story and I'm realizing just how effing ridiculous I was as a child. I was such a strange child. So I'm in the back of the car and I'm like asking all these questions like, why are we blocked off here? And why is it so big back here? And oh my goodness, I just realized there's a radio in your car, but it's not playing music. What is all of this about? So I'm just basically asking these police guards all these questions about their cop car and why it is the way that it is. And next thing you know, I'm pulling up in front of the area that my family was hanging out around. Now, for context, because I think this is just painfully ironic, where this place was across the street from a funeral home. So basically they dropped me off in front of the funeral home. And like the entire neighborhood basically was just outside like, what is going on? Like, oh my God, and like crying. Like I saw my mom in tears and it was like this whole thing. And I come out of the cop car just like giddy as all hell, like, cause I just had this crazy adventure and I'm like, oh my God, I have so much to tell you. And everyone around me was just like, you dumb child. And I don't really remember much else after that. I probably just went home, had dinner and went to sleep. But yeah, it was quite the adventure and it's something that's still brought up within my family to this very day. And honestly, it's probably one of the most badass moments I've ever had in my life. Anyway, with all that being said, that's pretty much the story time. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, comment below, and subscribe. Also, hit that post notification bell to be notified whenever I upload. If you want to see more from me, including my poetry, check me out on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. All of those are at Carson Bodie. and I will see you next week with a brand new video. Bye, guys!